that doesn't make sense to most people. They want to hear 200R multiple trades, but you're going to learn from the secret market maker guy that used to work for XYZ Bank. And here's the proof. He's trading with nanolots. The fuck? Are you serious? And that's what's going on. That's the proof they're showing. And they're still in nanolots teaching. So I told myself when I was going to do this space, don't go off the rails. Just be polite and try, be nice. I'm trying to be nice. But when you really look at all this bullshit that's out there, it's like, really, man? Really? Like all the things that could be done. These are the shitheads that go out here and do this stuff. And they make it about image, the things that you can't pay your rent with. You can't put groceries in your refrigerator, in your freezer, with worshiping these clowns. That's why I don't want any of you worshiping me. I'm just trying to be a voice of reason, okay? I don't like team mentality, but if you're here to learn, I have no problem, trying to be team captain in that regard. But I'm not trying to create codependence. I want people to think about things soberly. I want them to understand that these are the things that matter most. Don't get caught up in all the other bullshit because that doesn't make you money. And if it ain't putting bread in your pocket, what the fuck difference does it make? Who cares who likes who, what is better? Who gives a shit? If you want to go out there and trade Bollinger Bands and it makes you money, man, go for it. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. I want all of you making money. That's why I do this. I want you all making money. I get my rocks off when I see other people coming to me, studying, and they're proving they're making money. And you're seeing it all year long. People are coming up here with their receipts saying, here you go. This is what I'm doing. Thank you very much. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. No worship necessary. High five, boom, good. Well done. Next. And then we encourage everyone. That's amazing. There's no sales pitch. There's no coupon codes. No Black Friday specials. You got to get in and buy my subscription before the price changes. Fuck all that. Fuck that. But that's why it's hard. Because everybody wants to find their place. And see, the problem is you're letting everybody else tell you where your fucking place is. Never thought about it like that, did you? Young men, you got to be on the FTMO leaderboard. Young men, you got to win the Robbins Cup. And if I'm guilty of that, I apologize. But I do that with people that talk shit. Because if the people can do it, they'll go in there. But they won't because it's audited. And their name will be up there and they can't hide. Only one account will be seen. That's why they don't do it. I would love it. I have several students saying that they're going to join in 2023. Man, I can't wait. I will love to see that. Even if they fail, the fact that you're willing to try to do it, that to me is awesome. Because they got the moxie to try it. Because it's hard. It's really hard. Because everything I've described and talked about in this Twitter space tonight, it's like on steroids. You're going to second guess every fucking thing you're doing. You're going to be looking at every little thing you're doing and you're going to second guess every bit of it. Because why? This is the Super Bowl. This is it. Everybody's going to see me crash and burn or rise to glory. And what are they going to be thinking? Everything ass backwards. That's why I tell everybody to do it. Because in your little tiny little circle of your rented MT4 servers or your market replay reports, that shit is nothing. When you're going to go into a competition and you're placing yourself in front of everybody and real traders, and some of these people, look up there. Some of these guys' names repeat and they show in the last few years. They keep climbing up in there. It's like the same several people you see when you see the World Series in poker. They make it to these last tables. Not all of them make it to the last table, but these same faces keep showing up. I have a lot of respect for those individuals. Even if they blow out and they fall off the leaderboard, they make it there several times a year. That's better than any Twitter bullshitter, any Instagram horseshit artist. They're out there doing it. And you see these guys saying, "Oh man, look at these look at these returns, 200%. Fuck 200%." And these people aren't showing you shit. I have a lot of respect for every person that ever joins that competition because your name's up there and you're walking it. And I have students saying they're going to go in there and they're trying it. And I am so proud to hear them even think about it. Do I think they're all going to do well? I'm hoping they will. Like I said, if they just show up and make them name appear on the leaderboard, that's, to me, that's amazing. It's good. It's not important for them to win. If one of them wins, you know damn well I'm going to peacock like a bitch. Like I'm going to flip out. I'm going to all over the place because I already got one guy up there, Steve Garner. He won the stock division in 2001. That's Gate Trader. He was one of my original students when I was on America Online. And while that percent might not be so impressive today, I think it's 21%. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I'll be ashamed of myself. But you know, that type of return in a year back then, that's respectable. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, it gets back to who's setting the table for you. Are you letting all these people, these fucking nobodies, these clowns, these miserable pieces of fucking shit, human excrement, these hateful fucking people on social media, you're letting them tell you how you are to be successful. If you don't live up to their expectations of success, then you failed. These fucking people work menial jobs if they're employed at all. They're not trading profitably, but you're letting them set the table for you. Really? Why? Why does anybody's expectation about you or your trading matter? You ever think about that? Of my students, have you ever seen me question any of my students, say, "Hey, what did you make? What did you do this week?" And then critique it? I've never done that. I have never done that. And any mentor that does that is setting them up for failure. Because what you're doing is you're creating this ladder that they're going to feel like they got to climb higher. The next rung's got to be better. And if it doesn't happen, if they don't do well, at least better than the last month, and they could still be profitable this month versus last month. But if they didn't do better than last month, how is that student going to feel about themselves? Well, my teacher's not going to think I did well enough, or they're not going to like my post, or they're going to think that I'm not doing enough, or other people will say, "Oh, look, you didn't do something right that month." But again, that's the problem with this industry. You're competing against yourself. See, you're allowing all this outside bullshit to influence you. Now, I guess in a lot of ways I am an influencer, but I'm trying to influence the best way I can, calling bullshit when I see it. But majority of the time, I'm telling you how you should be thinking and avoiding all the dumb shit. Focusing on what matters most, avoiding the things that's going to be a pitfall for you, and just sticking true to the reasons why you're here. You're here to make fucking money. You know what? You can come here and have religious views about money and say, well, the root of all evil is money. No, it's not. It's the love of money. The love of money. I don't love money. I don't love money. I love doing what I do. I'm passionate. You all know that. I'm still fucking talking to you. The bottom line is this. You are here because you want to make money. You want more money in your bank account than you have right now and when you had last year and any year in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not greed. That's not greed. That's fruitful. Okay? That's fruitful. When we were created, the first instructions were given, be fruitful and multiply. That wasn't just procreation. That means bring forth fruit. In everything, be fruitful. You judge a tree by what? Its fruits. So, you're not here to look pretty. You're not here to be adored by other people. I'm not here to have that. I'm here bearing fruit. And for some of you, it's bitter, it's sour, you don't like the way it tastes. Other people will say it doesn't taste good, don't eat it. And the people that have worked hard to reach out and grab it and take it, they know it's sweet. They pay their bills with it. They buy cars with it. They're getting homes with it. They quit their jobs with it. They're building wealth with it. Okay, so you're not going to have anybody tell you, if you've tasted it now, no one's going to convince you that you've wasted your time. Who's going to tell you that? Nobody. You're not going to give them the time of day. So you have to do everything in this industry with removing and pruning all these bad things that are going to suck your attention and draw your passion away from being just principle oriented, result driven, and then consistency will be the derivative of that. That's what's going to come from doing those things. But you can't expect it to happen right away. And that's unfortunate, but that's the truth. And I don't hide from it. I don't sugarcoat it. You have to earn it. And there's no shortcut to it. There's no get to the point ICT. The point has already been made. They won't be this candid about it because it would mar their image. I don't care about image. I don't care about it. Because me being viewed or loved or hated has nothing to do with your bottom line. That's the only thing I care about. Do my students learn properly? Am I providing the information honestly? And that way you can see it. I'm executing based on the logic, and I'm also teaching you exactly when I'm not expecting it to work. It's not the algorithm's broke. It's not the algorithm stopped working. They're not changing the algorithm. It's just these are days that there's no rhyme or reason for you to be expecting precision. You just can't do it. I can probably list 2 or 3 times where the market went to a target in 30 years that I had predetermined before 8:30 would start. And honestly, I think maybe one of them was made public. And that was it. Then you would think if there was something to this day that I had an advantage over, wouldn't I like to be flexing it and showing you publicly? Because I would. I would. That's my personality. I would do it. Just like I showed the precision and everything else. I caught the big move with a lot of ticks or handles earlier in the week. And that's how I train my students. Look when the moves are going to be logical and where it's likely to form. And when you get it, you stop, you close up shop, and don't worry about the rest of the week. Let the retail people trade this. Let them wreck themselves. Let them get mad. Let them get all worked up in a frenzy. You're on an extended weekend every first week of the month. This is your protocol. This is exactly how I teach my students, okay? You are welcome to trade on Monday. You're welcome to trade on Tuesday. London session, New York session, PM session in the afternoon for stock indices. This goes for Forex and futures. But now here's where the deviants come into the conversation. I like ICT. I like some of his stuff, but I'm going to cherry pick this part and remove it from me because I'm going to be the exception of the rule. Don't do this. Here's where you need to listen. You young folks, okay, especially the men. Do not. Listen. Do not trade after the morning session in Wednesday. So you're welcome to trade up to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock if you're doing stock indices. But at 11 o'clock, be done. Don't touch it in the afternoon. You'll regret it. Don't touch it on Thursday. You'll regret it. And certainly don't trade on non-farm payroll. Fridays, because chances are you're probably going to be offside, which means you're on the wrong side of the marketplace, and it's going to rip against you, and your stop loss won't be respected. How's that possible, ICT? How I had my stop loss in there. My broker has to get me out at the stop. No, your broker doesn't have to do that. Okay, because if your stop loss is, for instance, at 38.41 and a half, okay, you're getting filled at 38.50 or higher. That's slippage. Welcome to the real world. Okay, there's no slippage in demo. In paper trading, there's no slippage, and that's why these guys will put that they have 50 contracts on moves like this, and they're not going to tell you what's going to happen before it happens. They're not going to co-sign what they believe before it happens. They're going to show you the history after it happens. That doesn't help you. That's an ego stroking for them. I'm trying to absolutely teach you. Okay, I'm pouring myself out this year. I'm doing everything I can to make you understand why I say the things I say, how I do it, why I don't try to do it on other days. If you want to try to trade like me and learn how to do things that I do with these concepts, it makes sense for you to do what? Subscribe to everything, because every little thing has its place in the way I think about the marketplace. You can't, honestly, in my opinion, you can't come in and just cherry pick certain things that you like me saying. Oh, that sounds cool. But then when I get to the real meat and potatoes of it all, which is these things right here, how do you avoid losing money? Nobody writes books about that. Nobody does that because it's not exciting. Money management books, they're the least bought books. I've already suggested that Ralph Vince, and Ryan Jones, those two fellas, outside of what I teach about it, which is really just, a simplification, if you will, of what they talk about in their books, because they're very boring. They're expensive. Most people won't want to spend that much money on a money management book. Okay, I understand that. I didn't want to do that either. When I was young, I bought all the books that gave me the indicators because I was looking for the holy grail in the settings. Tell me what the indicators are supposed to be on my chart, what the settings are going to be, and then I'll know how to trade. And that doesn't work. That does not work, because if it did, nobody would lose money when they first start trading, because everybody does what? They put indicators on their chart. And unless you know what price is likely to do, how's it going to behave? That's narrative. Behavior is narrative. How's it likely to do certain things? Why should it do those certain things? And then when it does those certain things, what setups, what patterns, what concepts or conceptual theory would be applicable to finding entry in that narrative or in that behavior? And that's a huge chasm of understanding that 99.999% of educators, authors, and pseudo traders don't tackle because they don't know it. If you really want to teach somebody and communicate something to them, you're going to show them both sides of the coin. You're going to show this is the strengths and the advantages, and this is where the weaknesses are. And here's the advantage of knowing how to discern who's a real mentor, who's someone that's been really doing it or not. They're going to sit down and honestly tell you, this is where you're going to have difficulty. This is where it's going to be problematic for you. And why would they want to do that? Number one, they want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. I want you to be doing well at this. I don't want to see you lose. I don't want to see you suffer. I don't want to see you have monetary loss. That's why I teach in a demo. That's the reason why I show my examples in a demo. I mean, you saw live accounts this year, but last year, but irrelevant. When I show you executions using the techniques and concepts that I teach, I'm doing it in a demo. Because if you see your teacher out here with almost 435 or whatever it is, 1,000 people watching me, I'm still repping paper trading. And you see these young men come in there, oh, it's a paper trade, ha, ha, ha. Yes, it is. For compliance reasons, and I'm not a licensed trade advisor. I'm teaching you things that I believe are going to repeat in the future. That's my opinion. I want you to challenge that opinion. As a viewer, I want you to go into your charts and see if the things I'm teaching you are really happening. Is it an advantage? And don't go into it for a weekend or a month and say, okay, I watched some videos, I scribbled a couple catchphrases that he likes to say, and say I took notes and I did the work. That's not the work. The work was like yesterday.